The whispers started with apartment 6B. For weeks, the tenant hadn't been seen. One day they were there, the next vanished, like a ghost slipping through a crack in the wall. It was the kind of disappearance that makes the hairs on your neck stand on end, the kind that leaves you wondering what darkness lurks just beyond the edge of sight. One night, a neighbor, Mrs. Halprin, who lived in apartment 5C, heard a scream. It was a woman's voice, and it sounded like it came from inside 6B. She was very scared and called security. When security got there, everything was quiet. Too quiet. The apartment door was locked. There was no sign that anyone had broken in. But there was a strange, cold feeling coming from under the door. It wasn't normal cold. It was something else. Detective Lena Morse was called to the building. She didn't believe in ghosts, but she was a good detective. She noticed that this wasn't the first time someone had disappeared. Two other young women had vanished from the same building in the last 6 months. They were all between 20 and 30 years old, and people knew they had some mental health issues. The police said they had just run away. Case closed. But Lena didn't think that was right. Lena went to apartment 6B. She stood outside the door and listened very carefully. At first, she heard nothing. Then, very faintly, she heard a voice. It was a woman's voice whispering, "Help me!" Lena knew she had to get inside. She kicked the door open. The apartment was freezing. It was an unnatural cold, like a freezer, but worse. Everything was covered in a thick layer of dust, like no one had been there for years. The air felt heavy and stale, like it hadn't been breathed in a long time. Lena searched the apartment. The kitchen was empty. The bathroom was dirty and neglected. Then she went into the bedroom. That's where she heard the voice again. "He's watching." Lena turned and looked at the mirror on the wall. And that's when she saw him. A tall man was standing behind her, but she only saw him in the mirror. Lena quickly turned around, but no one was there. She looked back at the mirror, and he was still there. The man's mouth was sewn shut with thick black thread. His eyes were black and empty, and he was smiling. Lena tried to move away, but her feet were stuck to the floor. She couldn't lift her arms. It was like her body didn't belong to her anymore. She was trapped. In the hallway, Mrs. Halprin peeked out her door. She saw that the door to 6B was open. A strange, cold mist was flowing out of the apartment, like smoke. 10 minutes later, another police officer arrived. Lena was gone. There was no sign that she had fought or struggled. The only thing left was her badge, lying on the floor. It was covered in dust, as if it had been there for many, many years. The case is still unsolved. People who live in the building now say they sometimes hear a radio playing in apartment 6B, even though there's no radio there. And sometimes if you stare into the mirror by the stairs for too long, you'll see someone blink behind your eyes. And it won't be you. The mystery of apartment 6B remains. Some doors are best left unopened, some questions unanswered. Subscribe for more tales of the strange and unexplained.